On July 16, 2024, we venture out trackside to the Norfolk Southern's Meadville Line in search of old Erie Lackawanna signals. With rumors of replacements up in the air, we chase down Norfolk Southern train C29 and chase it the whole way from Sharon to Meadville, Pennsylvania, catching it at multiple spots with these classic signals. With two Ex-Conrail locomotives leading the train, we were sure in for a great day of railfanning. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy the video. Once a part of the mighty Erie Lackawanna mainline from Chicago to New York, Norfolk Southern's Ferrona Yard in Sharon is one of the main bases of operation on the railroad's now small Meadville line. Seen sitting idle in the yard is the power for today's C29, a local turn from Sharon that runs to Meadville throughout the week to interchange traffic to the Western New York and Pennsylvania Railroad. Our eastbound leader for the day would be Norfolk Southern SD40-2, number 3361, built in September of 1977 for Conrail. A unique feature about this locomotive is that it still retains its Leslie RS3L horn applied to it when it was built for Conrail. Our westbound leader back to Meadville would be Norfolk Southern GP40-2, number 3051, built in May of 1979 for Conrail. One of the main reasons we were out trackside today was to document some of the old Erie Lackawanna signals that are scattered across the line between Sharon and Meadville. At the east end of Ferrona Yard is one of the last active Searchlight-style signals on the Meadville line, and is currently showing an approach that will later guide C29 out of the yard. In downtown Sharon is a different style of signal that was used by the Erie Lackawanna. This is a Union Switch and Signal, or US&S, R2 signal. Modern SafeTrans signals, like the one seen on the left, are still based on these today, though they lack the style of their old US&S parents. The R2 signal here at Control Point Bud, in downtown Sharon, has been turned off for many years, though the signal still stands. After getting some photos of the signal at Bud, we move over to Sharpsville, Pennsylvania, on the very easternmost portion of the yard lead. Here we would wait for a few hours for Norfolk Southern C29 to finish its work in the yard, and then head out to Meadville. Standing watch over the yard lead here is another set of US&S R2 signals. This time, they're both lit. With Norfolk Southern bringing PTC to the line and modernizing their trackage, these unique signals will soon meet their downfall, and we were very lucky to get them while they were still operating. After getting their heavy train on the move, Norfolk Southern 3361 and 3051 are in Notch 8 as they cross the Rutledge Road crossing in Transfer, Pennsylvania. Also here is the milepost 135 defect detector, which you can hear go off after the train passes. Unbeknownst to us at the time, C29 would have some cars to drop off for the Bessemer and Lake Erie Railroad at their interchange in Shenango, Pennsylvania. Setting up next to the small railroad museum in downtown Greenville, it wasn't long before C29 got their track authority to Meadville and then came barreling through town.
RS3L 3361 at best, checkbox 3. Workley best, temperage on the main track, 6326, one box checkbox 3. North. 6326, one box checkbox 3. Top by JRB, okay, 1156. 1156 AM, dispatcher, MLR. Thank you, Charlie Toronto.
Tucked in the woods lies another Searchlight Signal, similar to the one we saw earlier in Ferrona Yard. However, this one has been deactivated a long time ago, as evident by how rusty and beaten up it is. Conveniently built next to the railroad tracks is a private hunting stand, which makes for a great photo prop with the signal. Norfolk Southern 3361's Leslie RS3L horn can be heard in the distance, letting us know of the approaching train. After waiting to get permission into western New York and Pennsylvania's Meadville Yard, we see Norfolk Southern C29 once more at McHenry Street on the south end of the yard. On the other end of the yard, we can see some of the western New York and Pennsylvania's well-known Alco locomotives. Sitting near the shops were C425, number 435, and C424, number 427. If you would like to see these locomotives in action, I recommend you check out my playlist of western New York and Pennsylvania videos if you haven't already. Sitting underneath the overpass was C424, number 421. This locomotive was just recently returned to service after being sidelined for a few years due to mechanical issues. The crew of C29 will detach the power from their train and pull up past the switches in order to reverse to the other end of the yard. After moving to the other end of the yard, the engineer walks around to their new leader for the return trip to Sharon, Norfolk Southern 3051. The WNYP had already prepared the outbound cars prior to C29's arrival, so all the crew had to do was back onto their cut of cars, build up the air, and then get permission to leave. After leaving the Western New York and Pennsylvania's Meadville Yard and getting back onto their home rails, C29 can be seen here accelerating over the Mercer Pike Railroad crossing and getting their train up to track speed. We find another searchlight signal, this time at milepost 533.1. Norfolk Southern 3051's foul to Nathan P5 horn can be heard in the distance as the train blows for one of the remote crossings here in Adamsville. At Crestview Drive, south of Shenango, a new Safe Trans signal has been placed here, and will be activated once the old signals are removed and PTC is in place. The covered plaque below the signal head will have an A on it, just like the one we saw earlier by the Greenville Railroad Museum. This means that the signal is an approach signal. An approach, or distant signal, is just like any other signal, except it is unable to display a stop aspect. Because trains have to approach each station or interlocking prepared to stop, the approach signal was developed to give an advance indication on whether a stop was required at the home signal. The home signals in this case are the Tri-Light signals located at the XN Diamond with the Bessemer and Lake Erie Railroad in Shenango. After a brief stop at the signals in Sharpsville to get permission back into Ferrona Yard, C29 continues across North Mercer Avenue and onto the yard lead, passing the still lit US&S R2 signals. On the east end of Ferrona Yard, the engineer will slow the train down to let the conductor out of the engine, who will then manually line all of the switches, allowing for one more roll-by of our train as they enter the yard. The active searchlight signal that we saw earlier in the morning can be seen to the left of the train, now displaying a stop indication to stop oncoming traffic.
did that to me.
With their long day of work complete, the power for C29 will decouple from its train, and the crew will get off and go home. I'd like to thank everybody for watching, and please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell as to not miss any future uploads. This is Anthony with Northern Ohio Railfanning Productions, signing off.